That Minotan heist was for Oliver.
So we're sitting here. We're up at the back of Ballinalacken Castle. We're not far from Doolin. We're not far from Fanor. We're not far from Lisdoonvara, and we're in a lovely, beautiful place. Thanks to Joe Kelleher for the invite, and I'm joined by a man who's travelled a good many miles today to join us, and very much appreciated. The wonderful Bobby Gardiner. Welcome, Bobby.
Thank you all. Thanks very much for asking me.
Well, I tell you, we're delighted to have you as part of the series that we're doing. And it's not the first time you were in this house.
No, I was here when I used to play cards here. My brother and myself would come up here sometimes, and we'd have a card game, and there'd be a lot of arguing going on. So I learned how to become a good card player here.
You're from down the road, are you?
And I can give an odd token as well. Anyway, I also danced a set here when I was young, and I played a few tunes on the accordion for set dancing.
So does it make you kind of sad?
It is. It's very sad for me when I come around this area now. Everything has changed. All the houses, they're all beautiful new houses. Whereas when I was young, everything was totally different.
Did you enjoy your childhood?
I did. I enjoyed it good enough, but it was a bit of a struggle, I suppose. You know, at that time you wouldn't ask your parents to buy you a football. You know what I mean? We'd be waiting for the pig's bladder. When the pig would be killed, that was our football. So we know what it is. My generation knows what it is to be without things, and that's why I suppose we appreciate what we have now a lot better.
So music would have been a huge part when people didn't have material goods. They got together and they played in houses.
They got together. They had dances in the houses locally here. Sure, I often played in all the places that would have dances. Kelleher's in Oughtdara, and the Mummers dance. We were down there. Then we had it in our house up in the mountain here, one or two times as well. And I remember playing with Michael Russell and Gussie and all those, Mickling Conlon, my uncle Tom Doolan, Gerald O'Loughlin, and all those. That time we had the settle bed where we were have two or three chairs up on the settle bed. We thought we were grand all together. We were really looked up to, you see. And then when the break come around, then you'd be brought over for in the room for tea and sweet cake and apple pie and if you wanted a bottle of stout as well.
What brought you to the music?
Well, I suppose it was in my family. Like two of my uncles played. My uncle Tom played the fiddle. My uncle Parrot played the fiddle as well, and then my mother played a tune or two on the concertina. So that's how I started on the concertina. And I suppose the one we had, it wasn't great. It was an old German one.
Churro.
Churro.
Yeah.
And the button might fall out of it while you were playing. It was very.
And you learned yourself?
Huh?
Did you learn yourself, or did somebody show you?
I learned myself. My mother taught me my first tune called "What the Devil Ate You," which goes. Well, it was
We have an audience of 3, but I tell you, they're like an audience of 300. They're great. And Damien O'Rourke is behind the camera. Isn't it great that your mother taught you a reel as the first tune? Isn't that fascinating? I think that's fascinating.
Well, I think that tune actually, I think is a slight.
Okay.
No, it's what's it? Band dance, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's a band dance, but maybe it could have been into a reel as well, but. Yeah.
So did you take your place as a 13, 14-year-old among musicians at these house concerts, or was it later on?
I'd say I was one of the youngest people around. I was playing with the older guys, you know what I mean? Michael, the Russells and Willie Shannon from Doolin and all those. I remember playing at a Mummers dance, maybe not a Mummers dance, but a house dance in Doolin one night, and it was only, actually, we were playing away on, and it was only when someone looked out the window that they realised that somebody was driving the cows to be milked. that was morning.
Yes.
Yeah,
Lovely.
these were strange times, you know.
But you learnt your rhythm from the dancers then.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
I did,
your
I
rhythm
did.
is spectacular.
Well, I suppose from the old '78 records of Michael Coleman and PJ Conlon, the great melodeon player, and Paddy Killoran and all those great musicians from America. We had those '78 records, so I was consistently listening to those. And you know, there was on the side you had a wheel or a handle on the side to slow down the tune.
Okay.
The only thing is to change the pitch, but you still kind of hear what was going on. You were able to examine the decoration. See,
Do you think that's where you learned how to lilt? From the
no.
fact that you had to lilt it if it slow down to keep it going?
No, I don't think so. What's the word? Who motivated me to do lifting was a man by the name of John Joseph Clare. He was here. He was from the Scanner, and he had spent most of his life in Chicago. And he came back here, retired, and he used to be down at the Kincora Hotel in Lisdoonvara. And I would go in there. I was maybe 15 or 16 this time. I'd go in there and I'd hear him doing this lifting, and we thought I was amused by it. And he used to get the people laughing, and they wanted more when he do it.
Mm-hmm.
And he had an unusual way of lifting, and it kind of stuck in my mind, and I could never get it out. So some years later, I decided I'll have a go at doing a small bit of it myself. So will I do a small bit for you?
Please do, yeah.
Down the upper up laddie diddle up laddie diddle up the diddle the idle the dum diddle long diddle diddle the idle tidy young diddle the diddle dum hold the diddle the idle diddle the idle the dum diddle hold the dum, hop the doodle dum, the diddle doodle rattle the diddle diddle dum, the idle already dum, diddle doodle dum, hold the diddle diddle the idle doodle dum, the ladder dum, around diddle doodle dum, the upper the ladder diddle la mama that diddle dum. I reckon that Lola Mama, that he must have been listening to drummers, because that's what a drums does. You know, he go from one drum takes Lola Mama and diddle. Maybe, I don't know.
But I first came the power you have to make people tap their feet, to make people dance. I've never come across it in any other musician. I remember the first time I met you came across you didn't meet me, but I saw you about 40 years ago in the Inish Fail.
Oh yeah.
In Lisdoonvara, and we used to go in after our gigs in Doolin, and you know we'd arrive in maybe at 1:30, and you'd be only getting warmed up, and the whole hall or room would be moving to your music. Did you enjoy those nights?
I did. I enjoyed it.
They were hard gigs though, weren't they?
They were the ballad session scene. You see, my wife and myself, we were making our living out of music that time. So we had no choice. We would play all kinds of music.
But you looked to me like that you were doing it was mostly jigs and reels. You were doing those nights.
It's mostly jigs and reels. Sets, playing for sets,
and it really worked. And it wasn't necessarily a traditional music audience, but they really respected what you were doing because you had the energy and you had the rhythm. Did that develop, or did you have it straight away? That rhythm, that power.
Well, no. You see, when you're playing for the set, you have to make sure that you have good rhythm and that you watch them and you stay with them, and they will. You know, you have to set it up for them that it makes them dance, don't you?
Yeah. Well,
you have to have the rhythm good and strong, the beats good and strong.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Kilmaley, like we used to play there all the bank holiday nights, and that was a great gig down through the years for many years. We used to play in Kilmaley
Tobin's.
and Tobin's, yeah. and the 1 million sometimes as well.
So, Bobby, your music formed in your family life and with your neighbours. Did you develop it yourself, or were you influenced, or had you been influenced by different things over the years, different audiences, different musicians, or would you just kept your own way and got stronger and stronger at it?
Yeah, well, I suppose at the start we were kind of doing our own thing, but then Paddy O'Brien came up with this new way of playing the accordion, so he had an influence on all the accordion players of that time in the 50s. He had an influence, but bit by bit I tried to see could I make my own of a tune.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, it's kind of important that you put in your own little decoration and your own little bits and pieces, and that you feel the music as you play it. It's never going to be the same way twice, like taking photographs, isn't it?
Yeah, well, you there's one thing that's very obvious when you hear Bobby Gardiner. You don't have to see it, know it's you, because you have a very distinct style, and it's very it just does the heart good.
Yeah, I don't like it too set, too perfect.
Will you play a few jigs for us? We'll see how you. Because there'll be a lot of musicians hopefully watching this, and we'll see how you.
Out after last night.
You were in Cork last night, were you?
I was down in Cork last night, yeah.
Thanks a million for driving all the way back up here. How does it feel to be playing a lovely melodic? Where did you get that melodic?
That I got from a fella in Italy. Beltuna is
it's a beautiful sound of it. How does it feel to be back where it all started?
Oh, it's great. It's great.
Yeah.
The only thing is that I only know a handful of people around here now anymore. That's the sad thing about it. I'd be telling my sister now, and she's 92. I'd be telling her that I'm up here, but I don't seem to know very many now.
I know.
That's life, sure. What are you going to do? Yeah.
You gave me a CD once of a man called Mike Gardiner.
Oh, my brother, yeah.
Your brother, and he was a great player.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about Mike.
I didn't mention him at all. I don't think
Yeah.
at the start there. Like he was one of my big influences at the very beginning because he played the melodeon, and my uncle Mick played the melodeon as well. I forgot to say that. Yeah, he had a kind of a wild style of playing. You know.
The brother.
Yeah.
That's good, isn't it?
Yeah, kind of a wild style. I had to change them. On the left side of his accordion there's a palo soprano, but he used to be playing the basses on the inside, which didn't match while he was playing here. So I had to I went to change them around, and I blocked the other ones in.
And then that's a big help.
He was delighted with that.
I didn't know if you told him or not.
That'd be good to him now anyway. He's in heaven.
Did he play much? Where did he go?
He was in America.
Yeah.
He only played around just the weekends.
He was a good player. The CD you gave to me was really good.
Yeah, well, it was I recorded him because I felt as though his music should be recorded, you know.
Yeah.
All those old musicians long ago, they all had great styles of playing, you know.
Of course they did.
And they still have. They're around everywhere in the country, and it's very important, I think, that they're recorded.
Yeah, well, yeah. And when you talk about all the people you know that have disappeared, do you think the music has disappeared that you know, or are you happy enough with meeting different age groups playing?
Well, of course, the music is changing a lot. Like, it's changed over the years. It's changed quite a bit. The old pure stuff will always be there.
Yeah, it is
the
there.
pure stuff will always be there. But you know what I mean. I suppose it can't stay still either. You know, there has to be movement. We'll say for groups like using harmony and all that for slow pieces like what they're doing now. Like the group of Ceoltóirí competition, that kind of helped that along, I think.
What did you think of when O'Rida arrived in the scene and you were a young man, and the changes that brought to the perception of the music?
Yeah, well, it brought big changes, but at that time, you see, it didn't go down very well at the start, I think, with some people anyway.
What about yourself? What do you think?
I suppose it took getting used to, because it was a new concept altogether, wasn't it?
Well, yeah.
You know, it was new. But like he was great, all right. He at least now you see you have options.
Yeah.
You can break up the if there's 4 or 5 there, you can have one start off and play, and then the other one can drop in and the other one can drop out. I suppose it's a bit like classical orientated, you know what I mean? But it's still good though. Still very good.
Well, Bobby, I think we could probably talk for another hour, but thanks a million for coming and having the chat with us. And
well, thank you very much for asking me, and thanks to Joe Kelleher, and thanks to Oliver here, my good old friend.
Well,
so
Joe's house is
Billy there from the roadside tavern and all. Right. And who else are we there? I can't.
Joe.
I didn't know you, Joe, with the glasses.
Thanks to everybody for coming as well. But will you finish up with your favourite piece of music?
Oh God, I don't know what's my favourite. I think I might have played it already.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much. again.